Can Georgia win a playoff game? Can Georgia win the national championship without Carson Beck?
Yeah, I mean, I think Georgia can. I mean, you look at what they've done with Carson Beck this season. Georgia has won this year when Beck played well. They also won when Beck played bad. Beck was not a determining factor in how Georgia played throughout this season. They won the SEC championship game against Texas when Stockton played well and also when he played bad. I mean, he had some really good plays, also threw a terrible interception in that game, and Georgia still found a way to win. If Georgia plays defense the way they did against Texas in both games, they could win with me at quarterback. Who plays quarterback doesn't really matter as long as they don't turn the football over. So Georgia still has.
But even if they do turn the ball over, the first time they beat Texas,
it doesn't matter.
He threw 3 picks, and they still won.
Exactly, it's a great point. And then add on top of that, so that's Georgia can win with no matter who's at quarterback. But then you add in Gunner Stockton, and I do think that he brought a new life to this offense and gave that was the most juice I've seen Georgia's offense have in a while when he went out there and adds a whole new dynamic to their offense with how he runs the football. He forces defenses to account for his mobility, which is something defenses have never had to do with Carson Beck. He can extend plays with his legs. He can contribute to the run game and then open up opportunities for their running backs and create mismatches in the passing game with his ability to extend plays with his legs. So I think Stockton can be a game changer at quarterback, may actually give them a better chance to win down the stretch with how he plays that position specifically. But I don't think it's going to matter. Georgia's defense, they played elite in their 2 games against Texas. They can continue to play like that. They can win their second round playoff game. They can make a run of the national title.
Yeah, no, they're done. Without Carson Beck, they're done. Like, so you guys know I'm risk averse at the quarterback position anyway. I don't like unknowns, right? But this is the crazy part of it. I mean, so far in his career, Gunner has attempted a whopping 37 passes, all right? Of which, 16 of those were against Tennessee Tech and UMass, okay? Like, there's just we have no idea here. Like, at some point you look at it and say, yes, he came in and played really well against Texas, and I think that is absolutely worth praising. I want to give him his flowers. But what have we talked about before? Sometimes when you have a quarterback change in the middle of a game, it's actually a bigger pop for the team, and it's a harder adjustment for the defense because the defense didn't spend any time working on Gunner being out there running around a little bit. So now you're going to be playing the best of the best. Whoever you are playing, you are going to be playing one of the elite teams in college football. I believe you're going to be playing Notre Dame. So you're taking on Notre Dame, who right now today has a whole group of people that are advanced scouting Georgia. They're already ripping into everything there is to know about Georgia, including ripping into everything that Gunner can and can't do from the limited amount of tape that we have on him. I hear you that this defense can shut anybody down. That is absolutely true. But you still have to score some points to win a football game, and I do not trust that Georgia will be able to put those points on a drop-heavy team that the offense this year has already been a disaster more often than not. Man, if they don't have their starting quarterback, this season becomes what might have been for Georgia to me.
But Fitz, if you're a drop-heavy team, your offense hasn't been able to score points, your receivers haven't played well, what do you need? A dual-threat quarterback. Stockton was one of the top-ranked dual-threat quarterbacks in the country. I think Stockton brings this offense is better with him at quarterback, I think. And with what we've seen and how they struggled against Texas with Carson Beck in there, this offense needs a running quarterback that can extend plays and make things happen, and that's what he does.
Man, I just think that this Notre Dame defense, if that's who they're taking on,
yeah,
you were talking about earlier how they disguise what they do. Oh, man, Gunner's going to be seeing ghosts about the third drive, and this thing's going to be 21-0. And then it's like, what in the hell just happened?
And if you look at the path, Georgia could either have a super favorable path or an absolute murderer's row. Like, let's just say in the off chance that Indiana finds a way to beat Notre Dame. I mean, Northern Illinois did it. How hard can it be? So Georgia would then play Indiana. I like that matchup. Let's say somehow, Adam, close your ears, SMU finds a way to beat Penn State.
Why would you say that?
I'm just saying, hypothetically, I'm not putting it out there in the universe. I'm just exploring
you put it out there.
Potential options. Well, then Georgia's their path is either going to be Indiana and then either SMU and Boise State. I like that path. But that's probably not what it's going to be. It's probably going to be Notre Dame and then Penn State. Like, those are two very different paths for Georgia. I lean that they can't win a national championship with Gunner Stockton. And it maybe has nothing to do with Gunner Stockton or very little to do with Gunner Stockton and a lot more with how little I trust this Georgia team. How on any given day, if Trevor Etienne runs the rock like he did against Texas and Georgia's defense plays as nasty as they have against Texas twice, against Tennessee a few weeks ago, yes, they can win a national championship. But I've seen more average to slightly above average Georgia defense than I have seen absolute shutdown, lockdown, elite Georgia defense. And unless Trevor Etienne runs like he did in the SEC championship game, and unless the Georgia defense plays to that level in every single game in the college football playoffs, then I don't think that they can win with Carson Beck or Gunner Stockton, but I especially don't like the odds with a backup quarterback.
I think I'm ready after hearing all of that. I think I'm ready to say, of all the teams that are sitting on a bye, the one I'm least confident in, the team that I'm least confident in that right now is not playing on the opening weekend is actually Georgia. That's going to get clipped off and I'm going to get killed.
That's not
really?
what I said.
I'm not. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Kirby Smart's still their coach. Okay, they're still the SEC champion. They still have
you got
their
Boise
quarterback.
State. You got Boise State and Arizona State to choose
and Kirby
from
Smart
well.
and Kirby Smart. I'm going to dig myself into a hole here. And Kirby Smart is such a great coach that what we're now saying is that he knowingly kept the better option on the bench at the quarterback position. Georgia fans all week have been saying, no, we're better with Gunner than we were. So that means you think your glorious head coach that won a national championship that is better than any other head coach was keeping the better option on the bench? Like, come on.
No, you as a head coach, you can't make that change in season, even if Carson's not playing that well. He threw so many picks during that stretch, and I don't even know what it was, 12 picks in 4 weeks or whatever, and they didn't make the change. It's because Carson Beck's one of the best quarterbacks in the country when he plays well and is going to be a first-round draft pick. So no matter how good you think Stockton is going to be or would be in there, you can't make that change. But his hand got forced. He had to make the change because of the injury, and then you find out it takes the risk off it for Kirby Smart. He didn't have to make that decision. Now we got to see Stockton, and it looked pretty good. So, Kirby Smart got a favor here by Carson Beck's arm dangling off and Stockton going into the game. Kirby Smart could never make that decision on his own during the season. Could never happen. Too much risk. You don't know what it's going to look like. But now he saw what it looked like, and it looked pretty darn good. So I do think that they're a better offense with Stockton in there than they have been with Carson Beck.